Hey everybody, welcome. It's Chrissy Key Rollins here bringing you this week's energy update. So I feel like I've been saying the same thing over and over again if you've been following these energy updates because it's just such a tumultuous time. The energy is really, really ramping up, and it's been ramping up this year, and it's been ramping up in a pretty intense way that we've all been feeling. And this time of year is a little crazy anyway. We got that crazy chaotic Gemini energy that happens in late May, mid-June. And then we switch over into Cancer season, which is very emotional, very fun, but can also be chaotic and kind of get you pulled in different directions as well. And between those energies, what we have happening on the planetary level, right, as we are dealing with a full moon. We just had a full moon last night. Hey, whoever's here live, chat in, love to see who's here watching. Last night we had a full moon. We also had a lunar eclipse. All of these things bring a lot of intense energies. Now, full moons in particular are something that I am a big fan of. As I started to understand the cycles of the moon and my own personal cycles and rhythms, it helped me to find my groove. It helped me to better understand why there are certain times of the month that I have lots of inspiration and creativity and energy, and other times of the month that I just feel like I need to rest and take a break. And that's exactly what the full moon energy is all about. Taking time to reflect, taking time to restore yourself, and taking time to let go, let go, let go of, and release that no longer serves you. Now, this particular energy that we are dealing with here in 2019 is all about helping to evolve our egoic self, bring forth our true divine nature, and allow these aspects of survival and false security that we have grown to cultivate to navigate this world, to start to let those go. And a lot of those have been brought about by, I was going to say decades, but it's beyond decades, hundreds of years, centuries worth of consciousness shifting in a new direction, while also more layers are being piled on top of us, really hiding our true nature, which is why I think a lot of us are feeling the overwhelm that we're feeling, the anxiety that we're feeling, the struggles that we're feeling. It's because somewhere inside of us, we know that what we're experiencing around us isn't the full story. We know that because we feel this sense of dissatisfaction. We feel this sense of incongruency in our life. And we have this overwhelming amount of evidence piling up that if we move in the right ways, we don't always get the right rewards on the other side. So there's got to be more to the story. And all of this energy that we've been experiencing throughout 2019 and previous, it's been leading us up to this point. It's an invitation. It's an invitation. Hey, Justin, so glad you could be here live. It's an invitation for you to do exactly what this full moon, excuse me, not the new moon, but what the full moon is inviting us to do. Take a step back, reflect under a different light. Look at things under a different light. We got the full blazing light of the sun, which casts its own shadows and can distort things, although it brings lots of things to the light, right? It can cast shadows, it can distort things. The soft, gentle, reflective light that comes from the moon, it opens up. It softens things. It allows you to see things from different perspective. It allows you to remove some of the shadows that get cast and give a softer glow to everything. So it's a great time to be asking yourself, as these struggles came up over the past couple of weeks, what are the biggest things that have been overwhelming you? What are the biggest things that have been catching your attention within yourself? What are the biggest things that have been catching your attention outside of yourself? And the reason I did this is because chances are there's a cycle there. There's something that's happening that's like, here we go again. Are we really dealing with this again? I thought I was over this already. Why am I going through this again? If you're having that, why am I going through this again experience, it is because you're given this opportunity to go through a similar experience as what you have experienced in the past, but to see it from a fresh perspective. And that's exactly what the new moon invites in. Or excuse me, the full moon. Why do I keep saying that? What the full moon invites in. Thanks for the love. So glad to see Pam. It's so great to have you on here. What does the full moon, what is this full moon inviting me to let go of? The way that you crack that code is, what's the cycle that you've been dealing with that was happening right before we got into this full moon phase? What's that redundant, here we go again, that showed up in your life? Whatever that here we go again is that showed up in your life, it's not happening to continue your suffering or because this is all that you're destined for. It's happening to give you an opportunity to say enough is enough. I've been through this before and I deserve better. I can communicate more. What questions can I ask? How can I look at this from a different perspective? It's asking you to change the way that you're responding to this situation. It's so easy to point your finger at the other character. I have some characters in my life that I like to point my finger to and be like, why do you have to be this way? They are forever going to be trapped in that display of character as long as you are forever trapped in your survival coping mechanisms that's stopping you from being true, authentic to yourself. And not only true and authentic to yourself, this is part of the puzzle that gets left off by a lot of people that talk about the things that I talk about. What is true and authentic to this other character that you're engaged with in the moment? Because this isn't about just bringing your full story to light, your true, authentic self to light. This is about bringing everybody's full, true, authentic self to light and removing your filters that are stopping you from experiencing the glory of every single person. Now, we each are aware of our own glory, and we're kind of ticked off that other people aren't recognizing it. I mean, that's a lot of our life experience. Why aren't you seeing my worth, my value? Why aren't you seeing what it is that I bring to the table? If you're not experiencing that in the characters around you, it's a little harder to unlock it within yourself for them to display, right? If you have that inside of you and you're not experiencing it in these other characters, what are the chances they have it inside of them and they're not experiencing it in you? If you want to unlock, if you want to unlock everything that there is for you to experience, it's not just about identifying who you are, becoming that fully expressed in the world. It's about connecting to the truth within other people as well. They hold the key to your refining evolution. They hold the key to you unlocking the next level of your character development. And that doesn't happen just by coming into your own self-awareness. That happens in coming into your self-awareness in relation to your awareness of this other being, which some would argue, that they're just an extension of you, an aspect of you that has stepped forth to engage with you in this realm so that you can become more aware of the truth of who you are. More patient, more kind, more loving, more compassionate, more gentle with yourself and with others. But if we're continually looking for the others to break out of the pattern, we're going to be waiting for a long time. And it's going to be really, really frustrating if you hadn't noticed already. So this isn't about just a compassionate journey in which you become a doormat and let life have its way with you. And this also isn't about having to fight and survive and defend yourself. But yet we have both of these aspects within ourselves. It's about learning and honing and refining and knowing when to bring forth that compassion, and when you bring forth that compassion in a way that's a little bit more fierce. How do you bring forth the energy that's true and authentic to you without becoming and embodying these other characters that you don't like to interact with? If someone is doing an unkind disservice to you, that is not a valid excuse to do an unkind disservice in return. And a lot of times, us exposing ourselves to these characters and not breaking out of it, all it does is keep us in these perpetuated cycles because we carry it around within ourselves. We carry it around. Those rascals don't carry it around. We carry it around within ourselves. It's our experience that we have of us whenever we interact with this other person. And when we come into these full moon energy, when this stuff starts to ramp up and you're clashing because there's eclipses that are happening, or 6 planets in retrograde, or whatever else is happening in the cosmos, as we are being invited as a collective human consciousness to feel, to deal, and to heal what is coming up inside of us. As it comes up inside of you, it's coming up inside of them. It is not a time for more savagery towards each other. It is a time for compassion. It is a time for humanity. If you cannot extend that to the being in front of you, extend it over to yourself and become someone who's so committed to having a safe, peaceful environment within yourself that you will not engage in conflict with others. Give yourself that peace. You have control over that. As these cycles ramp up, ask yourself, what am I feeling? What is stepping forward to heal? What can I release? How can I shift my perspective? How can I get in touch with the humanity within myself and connect to the humanity within this other person and break that cycle that we have gotten sucked into by our society, that, I don't know, that we're the only ones that feel anything and we can do whatever we want to other people and they'll be all right. They're not all right. They're not all right. But they're giving us an opportunity to, again, ask ourselves, what can I let go of? Where am I fighting for survival? Where am I bringing forth a fierceness that really needs to have compassion? And where can I back my compassion with the fierceness that I know within myself, right? That's what was coming to my mind, because that's what's happening in my world. So with all this ramping up, right? All this tumultuousness, all of this opportunity to release, to let go, all of this pattern seeing and breaking out of. From that point, we move into the next phase. And that's what we're going into. So if you have been feeling the overwhelm, if you have been feeling the struggle, if you've been feeling that chaotic energy, if you've been feeling the here we go again, know that it's not here to stay, it's here to pass. And actually this energy, it's already shifted. I can feel the difference. I can feel the difference. And if I'm feeling the difference, y'all will be feeling the difference soon enough if you're not already. There's a shift. There's a shift that's happening. And you're going to feel it faster if you're doing the work. If you're breaking out of those cycles, if you're accepting that invitation to do something different, to meet confusion and bring curiosity, to meet conflict and bring communication. That's what's needed. That's what the invitation is. Is there a conflict? Get curious. Ask better questions. Communicate more. Ask why. Share what you're feeling. Communicate more, right? Okay, I got to wrap this up. I'm committed to keep these short, but these topics are so dear to my heart that sometimes I get a little wrapped up in them. But I did pull a card to ask my dear friend Rumi, what's on deck? What you got to say, brother, that can help us along the way? And he says, card number 22, for you number buffs out there, love the number 22. 11, 22, 33, fan, all those, 44, big fan. Card number 22, the lion and the deer. The lion and the deer. Okay, so what does this card have to say? This oracle brings you a special message. You are rediscovering a part of yourself that has been lost or submerged underneath more practical concerns. Of course, if practicality is about survival, then learning to be your true self is most essential and practical. All other paths lead to death of the soul. You are asked to bear the chaos of this rediscovery. It may be that talents from this or other lifetimes are reawakened and cause you some discomfort at first, even though they will ultimately bring joy and greater fulfillment. The discomfort may be around how those talents are best expressed, about overcoming shame, guilt, doubt, or other judgments. It may even be about who you are, if you now admit your talent or other emerging personality traits. Perhaps what is being unearthed in you now is darker, your sacred rage, refusal to accept disrespect in your life, your inability to tolerate lies and deceptions. I've been there, my inner warrior goddess awoken in me. So if you feel that ramping up, we should definitely chat. Well, then you are the lion and the deer. That is nature. There is to be both in your world. You are becoming contradictory, or you are not becoming contradictory or hypocritical. You are becoming whole. The guidance this oracle brings you is that you shall prosper most now if you are willing to unbecome what you have believed yourself to be. It is never really true anyway, that view. It was partial at best and just a view, an identity, not a genuine reality. Some of your previous sense of self shall likely come with the transition into a fuller experience of your being, and some of that previous identity shall be shed as far too limiting. It just won't feel true to you anymore if it ever did. Any crisis or confusion this brings you shall be temporary, fuel to ignite the divine fires within. They simmer into life, cooking you from within, bringing all of your flavors, spicy and sweet, bitter and sour, into perfect balance so that your being, your presence, becomes an exquisite dish served up as a divine feast. You shall become nourishment for the world in perfect balance, your being all your being will hold all, for it holds all within it. It will deny nothing and become a tonic to feed every taste, every appetite, every hunger, and every deficiency. What an extraordinary sublime meal you shall be. How your presence shall nourish the world. And it all begins with shedding the either and the or, and recognizing instead the all. With such wild permission for unconditional love, you shall thrive in your beingness and feed the hungry world with a meal complete and satisfying and exquisite. Yes, yes, yes. This refinement that you're going through, it is getting back to your true divine nature, and again, that within you and that within others. There's a lie that's happening in our society that only narcissism expresses itself aggressively, and in truth, love can express itself very boldly as well. It's not about being aggressive, it's about being bold. Lions don't have to be aggressive. Their very presence is bold because they know who they are. They're a lion. Are you kidding me? Right? So it's not about being this outward, powerful destruction force. It's about knowing that your compassion, your gentleness, the deer that's inside of you is what gives you strength. And learning how to undo the lies that you've learned and told about yourself and the lies that you've been learned and told about others. The more that you can unravel this, the more free you're going to be on the other side. All right, I've talked enough. I love y'all. Thanks for being here. Let me know how this is hitting, and join me over in the Conscious Success community. I'm going to do a 3-card spread over there. I'll post that in just a bit, and let me know how this lands for you. All right, thanks for being here. Bye.